Today on Cryptic Mask, I bit the bullet and bought another Shure SM7B. So I'm going to do a quick unboxing and explain why I'm buying it again. Then I'll plug it in and we'll kind of hear how it sounds on a voice. All right, so we'll go ahead and slide the box cover off. Got a box on the inside. I have already cut it. You open it up and you get the little Shure thing here. There's nothing on the back. Then you've got some manuals and such, and then a sticker that my daughter will use. Then got the microphone itself. And finally, the other sock cover, wind sock. So this is the second time I've actually owned a Shure SM7B. I owned one for years, which I bought for vocals and as well to mic guitar cabs. I got in this really weird phase where I was obsessed with just getting as many mics as I could, popping them on different portions of the 4x12 cabinet that I owned, and just seeing which mic really works best for my scenario. That's why when you hear guitars and you kind of question why I use a Neumann TLM-107, it's because I tried out 40 different microphones and that's the best microphone that I've found that works to get the sound that I'm actually hearing if I'm in the room. That meant that once I actually found the Neumann TLM-107, and I wasn't really doing any type of singing or, like talking. I hate talking in videos, by the way. So I didn't need this. So I got rid of it. And then last summer, I thought, you know what? I should really start trying to do some live streams. Just because I think it's really interesting because you actually get to interact with people rather than, just looking at stupid comments. And you get to actually get a little more information on what people are talking about, what they like, what they don't like, what questions they have, that kind of stuff. And I really want to get to a point where I can do live stream amp reviews and stuff like that, or guitar reviews. And I was cheap on things, and I was using the Sennheiser E609. And I just thought, I'll probably eventually buy another SM7B. But the thing is, with the E609 and a lot of other dynamic microphones and such, they really pick up anything. So if you've got a cheap boom mic here, mic stand, what ends up happening is you hear everything. So if you move this, you hear the spring, you hear if you touch the table, stuff like that. The big thing with the Shure SM7B, which I'm not going to remove the windsock here, but the capsule is actually like way back here. So there's a lot of different room and there's a lot of space between the windsock here and the capsule, so it doesn't pick up on as much stuff. So that's kind of why I bought the Shure SM7B once again. And when it comes to this windsock here, I never ever had to use it before. It's not, I'm not in like high wind scenarios here, and this does absolutely just fine on its own, so you won't see me putting the big windsock on. All right, so I know this is going to look really bad, absolutely horrible, because it's not my typical lighting setup, but here is what I was dealing with the E609. So you can kind of hear if I'm tapping the table here, you hear that. If I bounce this or do anything on the springs, you hear that. So if I'm moving this around, should be pretty straightforward. It's not. So E609 causes some problems. When it comes to the Shure SM7B, you may note that right now my voice isn't really as loud as it used to be on the other microphone. It is because the Shure SM7B needs a little more oomph to it. So now if you hear me talk, it's definitely a little louder. So with dynamic microphones, especially the Shure SM7B, because again, the capsule is like way down here, it needs a little more boost. So you may have problems with it if you're using, if you're not using an external preamp before you bring it into your audio interface. You'll more than likely have to completely dime the input. Even then, it may not be enough. But you should be using an external preamp with this microphone. If you don't have one and you don't want to spend money on one, they're not very expensive. But you can actually get the Shure SM7B, and that has a little bit of a preamp boost in the microphone itself. So let's go ahead and do that test again. So I'm tapping on the table. You don't really hear that. And I'm hitting the springs that are on this very cheap boom stand. It's barely audible. So that would be one of the reasons why you would want to get the Shure SM7B or the Shure SM7B if you don't want to get an external preamp and you just want to spend a little extra on the mic, as opposed to using just a regular dynamic microphone. The dynamic microphones will pick up everything, which, again, a lot of people will say that condensers do that as well. So the Shure SM7B is probably what you want to do. And then at that point, you can hear if I'm moving this as well. You don't hear all the you don't hear my hand, basically. But yeah, you can use it with a cheap boom stand, desk boom stand, or whatever they're called. And it'll work just fine. You'll hear a little bit of the springs and stuff like that if you're touching things around. I do find that there's certain things with the cheaper ones that they don't work the best. Like the mic might swivel on you, in which case you might want to invest a little more money and get one of the industry standards here, which is the Rode PSA or the PSA 1 Plus. Sorry, it's a PSA 1 or the PSA 1 Plus.